G'day legends, today I am going to share with you one tutorial from my brand new mini course on water photography that I am releasing this weekend. If you haven't seen me before, my name is Tom Woods and I've been a full-time professional photographer since 2004 and got my start with paid photography as a water photographer in 2001. Since 2019, I have been building online courses in surf and water photography, and my latest offering is a getting started mini course that covers my exact techniques, keeping my cameras perfectly dry for over 24 years. It shows you the best camera settings for water photography, how to keep your lens ports water drop free, behind the scenes of water shoots, and so much more. And the launch price is a ridiculous $27. It is my mini course, but it's packed with value, and I'll put the link below this video for you to check out the information page. Now, the video that I'm about to share with you today is called Which Water Housing is Best for You? It will get you set up with the housing that will match your goals. So here's the video. Okay, so you may already have your water housing and are very happy with it. And if so, you may want to skip this video, or maybe not. You might find out that a certain housing will be better for your way of shooting. And the more information you have, the better your future choices will be. So first up, what you really need to establish is what is your main focus with water photography. Are you going to be doing surfer style work like surf action and water portraits, or are you going into scuba diving and are going to go super deep to find your images like one of my members, Kirk, does? This is one of his photos. Sort out what you actually want to shoot, and this will narrow down your housing brand choice straight away. If you're a scuba photographer going deep with your water housing, then you will need to look into the water housing brands like IKELITE, ISOTTA, NAUTICAM, and C&C. These housings go down to 60 meters or more, and because they go down so deep where there is next to no natural light, you will need to introduce elaborate strobes and flash systems. They are also negatively buoyant, which is an advantage for this sort of work, but can be a disadvantage for any surface style work. This is why it's super important to get clear on the type of photos that you are trying to create in the water. The four main brands for scuba type water photography are, as mentioned before, IKELITE, ISOTTA, NAUTICAM, C&C. IKELITE are probably the most affordable of the pro range selections, with their housings starting around 3,200 Australian, which is around about 2,000 in US dollars. ISOTTA is another solid option that starts around 5K Australian to house your DSLR or mirrorless camera. The NAUTICAM looks like it's the duck's guts of water housings, with their price point coming in over 10K, and the C&Cs are the mid-range around 6 to 8K. Most of what I teach inside my water photography courses is surface style work where you will not require this type of water housing. And as such, I don't have any experience with the dive housings. The principles, however, if you are to use one of these housings, will cross over well for anything from the surface down to about 8 meters. So then we turn our attention to the style of housings that I'm very familiar with, and that is what is referred to as the sports housings. These housings are generally built tough to be capable and durable in heavy surf conditions and from hard knocks. They are actually buoyant, which is a big help when swimming in a lineup, when shooting surf action, for instance. The buoyancy helps with treading water, and once in the water, you no longer have to carry it. So if you want to shoot water sports like surfing, swimming, or do split level photography, water portraits, shoot from kayaks, jet skis, or shoot sea life or free divers down to around about 8 meters, then a sports housing is your weapon of choice, and that is what I use. So if that's you, then let's look at brand choice and options. So the major brands in this space are Aquatech, Salty, SEAFROGS, Liquid Eye, SPL, CMT, and Essex. Aquatech is the brand that I have used since 2002, and I've had a 100% success rate so far. That's over 22 years of shooting with all my cameras kept perfectly dry at the time of filming this video anyway. So I'm very confident in recommending the Aquatech brand. The strengths of Aquatech housings are that all of the ports and accessories are interchangeable. They have setups for flash photography, which some brands don't. or they need a whole separate housing if you want to use flash. They have brand new lens port configuration that works for pretty much every lens on the market. They are very affordable for the quality they produce. They are also used by the very best surface water photographers in the world. They have service departments that service and turn around any repairs or maintenance fairly quick, especially if you live in Australia or America. The actual housing setup is exactly the same for nearly all ranges of cameras out there. So if you do change your camera type, you'll only need a different backplate setup to continue on with your old housing. And they never seem to die. I have updated about 4 or 5 housings over the last 22 years, and all of them, all of my older ones that I have sold to friends, are actually still in use today and still working. They really are built to last. Housings start from around $1,300 Australian for the base housing and just over 2,000 Australian dollars for the top of the line edge housings that have full manual control. Ports will need to be purchased on top of this, but for the quality, they are not really matched for price anywhere else. Also, the second-hand market is always strong with Aquatech gear, so if you are on even more of a budget, then the used gear can be a great option for you as well. I've got plenty of reasons why I have stayed with Aquatech, but let's just leave it there for now and say that I can definitely vouch for their quality and their function. SPL is another long-standing water housing brand that many big-name photographers have used over the years. They were always yellow and stood out in the crowd. Obviously a great product, but I did hear recently that the founder and owner has recently retired and the housings are no longer being produced, and apparently there is no maintenance or repair service for these housings anymore either. So while on the outside SPL housings look like a decent-sized company, it was pretty much a one-man show. So this is something to be wary of with the smaller brands. If they decide to just stop making them, the brand could just disappear altogether. Another reason perhaps to stick with a bigger brand company like Aquatech for the longevity of your equipment. Salty Housings is another Australian brand that seems to be going quite well in the market over the last few years. They make housings for a wide range of cameras. I would say their advantage is the size of their housings. They really do fit snug around the camera, so the housings are a lot smaller than their competitors. Their prices are a little higher than Aquatech. For example, a housing for the R5 starts at $2,420. Definitely worth checking out, but personally I'm a big fan of the clip system over the wing nut screws that Salty use. I did use the wing nut screw system with my very first housing, which was a Dave Kelly. It works, but once you use the new clip function of the edge housing from Aquatech, it's just really hard to go back to. Dave Kelly is actually another high-end quality housing manufacturer that has been producing for decades. He is the man I recommend if you have a weird camera or something you need doing that is totally out of the ordinary. If a super complex custom housing is your problem, he is your man. Pretty sure you can contact him on Instagram if you have a need for that. SEAFROGS is one of the cheapest of the solid housings. They mass produce for a large range of cameras. I have not used one, but I've heard some good to okay reports about them. I believe that generally they do a pretty good job, and with the right setup techniques, you can do some amazing photography with their gear. New Zealand photographer Rambo Estrada was using them for years and was getting great results, but he has recently also switched to Aquatech as well. But if you have a tight budget and want new gear, then some of their housings start from as little as $785 without a port and just over $1,000 with a dome port for Sony, Canon, Fuji, Olympus, and Panasonic cameras. They are more of a dive style housing. There's rated down to 40 meters, so pretty decent for the scuba crew. So I really could have added them into that first section of this video for the deep water work, but I know a lot of crew are using these for surf housings. OUTEX is another brand that makes those plastic bag looking housings. I have seen crew having great success with these, but I'm in no way going to recommend these. Other than the fact that they would be the most likely to leak, they also have zero protection from a hard knock in the ocean, which at some stage is likely to happen. But I thought I would mention them in here, this video, as an option out there, but one I would not confidently recommend. Liquid Eye Housings is another solid option. They have a really good range with a great functioning website to match your camera to the right choices for what you need. Their pricing is on par or maybe slightly cheaper than Aquatech. I have heard interviews with the owner, and he sounds switched on and dedicated to his craft. I can't say I know a whole lot about them other than that, but I know that they have a loyal following of water photographers, so that signals to me that they are doing something right. So I do encourage you to check out their range of housings. There are smaller brands as well, like Essex and CMT as well, but I don't have much intel on them. I'll put all of the links below this video so you can easily find the information to make your decision. So that is a rundown on what's out there and what may suit you in the way you want to take your photos in the water. Basically, if you are a surf action shooter, then your sports housings are going to be the best option from brands like Aquatech. If you are doing scuba, then deep dive housings like IKELITE, or on the cheap, maybe SEAFROGS. If you're an underwater portrait photographer, which is becoming increasingly popular these days, then I would actually go for a deep dive housing like IKELITE or ISOTTA, because they are negatively buoyant, which helps, and they can attach far better flash and strobe setups, which means that you can when you fully get into it, you'll see how helpful this can be. Lots of links are listed below this video for you to explore, but I'm always happy to answer any questions. And if you decide that Aquatech is best suited to your needs, then you can use my discount code, which is TomW, at their checkout to get 5% off every day of the year. Matching the right housing to your needs is so important, so be sure to ask yourself the right questions so you get clear on your choice moving forward. If you are a part of the full-length water photographer course, then open up the discussion inside the private members group. There is a wealth of experience there on all of these brands and setups.